Today we're going to learn the parts of the bow and how to pack and unpack the bow from the case. So here's my violin viola case, and usually the bow sits on the top part right here. So sometimes there's place for more than one bow, but we only need one bow to begin with. So I'm going to take the bow out by turning this lever here so that I can pull the bow out, and it's going to come out of the compartment over there. Pull it out. And here's the bow. So let's learn about the parts of the bow. There are 5 parts you need to know for today, for the beginners. And the first part is the tip. This part up here is called the tip, and this is the most fragile part of the bow. If you bang the tip on something, the bow will break. So be very careful not to bang the tip on anything. So that's the first part, the tip. Second part is this part right here, which is called the stick. Notice how there's a curve to the stick. It's not a straight stick. There's a slight curve on each end. And the stick is usually made out of wood, but not always. So that's the second part, the stick. Third part we need to learn about is the bow hair. So the bow hair is usually made out of horsetail hair, and we try not to touch it because the oil on our fingers ruins the horse hair. So we don't want to touch the horse hair or the bow hair with our fingers because of the oil on our fingers. And it doesn't mean you have dirty fingers. We just naturally have oil on our fingers. It sort of ruins the hair, so we don't touch it with our fingers. All right, the next part you need to learn about is this part right here. This is called the frog. And you can think of it as an eye. A frog has an eye on each side. There's one on each side. But that will be important when you start learning the bow hold on the next video. And then the last part you need to know is this part right here on the end. This is called the turning screw. And the turning screw will tighten or loosen the bow hair. So when I took my bow out of the case, the bow hair is very loose. All right, and by loose I mean it's almost touching the top of the middle of the stick. All right, but in order to play with the bow, we need to tighten the bow hair. So here is a phrase that you're going to need to learn. It's called righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Repeat after me. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That means when you turn it to the right, it gets tight. When you turn it to the left, it gets loose. So we're going to tighten our bow, and everyone's bow is different. On mine, I need to turn it 3 or 4 times to get the right tightness. So here I'm turning it, there's 4 times. So look at how much the bow hair is now away from the stick. I can almost, in the middle, I can almost fit the tip of my finger right there like that. All right, and if I stick my finger through there, I'm touching the top is touching the stick, and the bottom is touching the inside of the bow hair. But we don't really want to touch it so much, so I'm just showing you for demonstration. That's about the right tightness. Now I'm going to show you what happens if you tighten it too much, which you should not do. But look what happened to the stick. It's almost straight across. We don't have that nice curve anymore. So that's one clue that it's too tight. The other clue is look how far away the hair is from the stick. So my finger fits way in there with room, and it shouldn't be like that in the middle. So this is too tight. I'm going to loosen it by going to the left, lefty-loosey, and it should look about like that. Looking in the middle, this is how we judge. It should be just enough for your fingertip to barely fit in there like that. All right, and then to put it back in the case, we need to loosen it. I'm loosening mine 3 or 4 times, just enough so that the hair of the stick, the hair almost touches the stick. So the bow hair is almost touching the stick here in the middle. This is the part we judge, not over here, not over here, the middle of the bow. All right, so that is ready to go back into the case. So I'm going to put it in, and on some cases, the bow goes up like this. On some cases, the bow goes down like this. And in some cases, the bow goes sideways. So you just have to know how it fits in your case. So if I put it in like this, up, it doesn't fit right, and you don't want to ever force anything in. So I'm going to try. I know that mine I have to put face down, and then it goes right in. Then I can tighten this. It's ready to go. All right, practice saying the parts of the bow and tightening and loosening your bow, and I'll see you in the next video.